What were some of the things you liked about what you saw on Saturday?
When you look at, you talk about the positives. Obviously, Army was a good defense. Credit to them. They were a top 10 team. Obviously, took Oklahoma to double overtime last year. Beat Houston 70-14. We got to eliminate the mistakes on our end. When you look at the positives, we were able to run 80 plays versus Army. When you look at the time of possession battle, it was a 3-minute difference, which is very, very rare to see when you're playing a triple option team. But our fumbles and mistakes kind of cost us some opportunities early on. But our kids battled. They battled. We had 7 explosive plays in the game. We were 9 of 16 on third down, which Army finished 4th in the country last year in third down percentage. And so they called the game aggressively. Our kids responded. We just had too many self-inflicted wounds. Between the fumbles, the penalties, a few drops here and there, little things like that we got to clean up. But I thought our kids. I thought they battled back from adversity. Obviously adversity was the things that we put ourselves in, but they didn't let it rattle them from that standpoint.
You mentioned time of possession. Army had a really big time of possession advantage going into the half. What made you decide to what was the strategy behind evening that out a little bit more in the second?
Well, the thing that evened it out is we didn't turn the ball over in the second half. We had 5 drives in the first half, and 3 of them ended either on the first or in between the first and fourth play on a fumble. So those things are they're drive killers. They put your defense in a bad position, put your offense in a bad position, and so I need our kids to just settle down. Just settle down and play the type of football that we want to play, and not hurt ourselves with the costly mistakes.
Are the turnovers and penalties the biggest difference between what is happening on the field now and what you envision?
Yeah, when you look at it over the past 2 games, we've got 7 turnovers, we got 7 fumbles, we have 10 penalties, and then we also have 7 drops. And so you go back, you look at all those plays in critical situations. They're killing us. Now, there's been a lot of positives. Over the past 2 games, we've ran 160 plays. We've had 17 explosives. And we've had a number of different other explosive opportunities that we've just missed, whether it's overthrown balls, drop balls, guys wide open, to create some big opportunities that we've missed about 6 of those. And so we just got to get our timing down in every phase and every asset of our operations and offense, and just got to quit eliminating the mistakes that kind of hurt us, because we've kind of in drives that we've stopped ourselves for more than anything.
Ben was saying on Saturday he thinks a lot of those mistakes are mental. Is that what you're seeing? And if yes, how do you fix that?
I think our kids are just pressing. They want to be great. Obviously there's a high level of let me see, as far as excitement and standard for them, I guess. A lot of pressure. And I think right now, I think it's a perfect opportunity to get them calm now. Hey, let's just play loose. Let's play our type of football. We'll spend the bye week, hopefully get some voodoo expert in here and, get rid of the curse of the fumbles, but it's something we put a ton of work in our ball security. We do ball security drills every day in practice. And so if it was an issue that showed up in practice, it would be alarming that it carries over to games, but it's been totally uncommon. We haven't put the ball on the ground in practice, and the times that have happened in the game, it's hurt us.
Josh, Camp Randall isn't an easy place to play, obviously, but in terms of calming a team down, can it help sometimes to be on the road that way?
I think so. I hope so. I definitely hope so. I think, I think we had a great learning moment, obviously coming out of the game. Obviously when you're able to win a tight game like that, and all the mistakes that you had that were costly, not often do you turn the ball over 3 times and being able to put yourself in position to win. And so, I think just for our guys, they understand. They understand where the mistakes are coming from. They understand how to clean them up. They're committed to it. They want to clean it up. And so it will happen. It will happen. I don't have a concern with them. Obviously, the concern is how we've been, turning the ball over, but we'll get it fixed.
You've coached with Coach Brown for 9 months now. It's interesting to see the coordinators and how they learn from each other, grow from each other. What do you admire most about Don from the time you spent with him?
I think, when you look at Don, it starts with his mentality. It's his mentality to, he's an aggressive guy, and his confidence rubs off right on the players. And they have tremendous amount of respect and trust in him. that they're going to put him in the right position to be successful. And so, he's been very successful over his career. And I've had a chance to coach with him for a very long time and got mutual respect, and our friendship has been amazing.
I don't remember Shea pulling once on the read. Was that by design, or did he just miss a few?
No, it's nothing's by design. Everything that we do has some level of a read, whether it's an RPO read or quarterback read run. It's a little bit complex when you look at it as far as the reads, because you have to decide how they're playing. Obviously, Army did some things on Saturday, jetting guys up the field, being able to take the quarterback read game away. But it gave us favorable matchups inside, 6-man boxes and 6-man blocking services. And so, one of the things that they did a really good job was, continue to pressure. I think they pressured 85 to, something percent of the time. And so, it was just cleaning up the little things. Every quarterback read run isn't always going to be a pull. There was some that he should have pulled. There was one that he shouldn't have pulled in 2 minutes. That was one he should have gave the ball. So we just got to go back, look at the film, make the corrections, and continue to get better.
They ran some of those last year, but not as much as you're running now. Is that still a process then with Shea, even though he's done this before? Do you feel like that's still something he's getting used to?
I don't think it's a process by any means. I think everybody has a little bit of familiarity within every system. We just got to make the correct decisions for us, and not worry about, last year, this year, anything. We just got to make the correct decisions, whether that's in our drop back pass game, whether that's in our quarterback read run game, whether that's in our quarterback read pass game. We just got to continue to get the great looks, understanding what the defense is trying to do, how we're going to put them in conflict, and make the best decisions, as far as with our ball handling.
I think Joe Platt said during the broadcast that Shea had an oblique injury of some kind. Was that part of why he maybe wasn't running as much?
He's been banged up a little bit the past 2 weeks with oblique. Something that he struggled with since first played in Middle Tennessee, but that had no effect, and I hope it had no effect on his decision making from that standpoint. But like I said, every read run from a quarterback standpoint isn't always going to be declared a pull. It's numbers, angles. How tight is the defender? How wide is the defender? Is it too off the backside edge? There's a lot of things that go into play there. So for the common eye, they can see, the quarterback should have pulled it, But if people are playing wide enough the field, it gives you a favorable matchup inside with your box count. And so those guys typically that are jetting up the field can't bend and play the running back. So, he made some good decisions in there. There were some decisions, obviously, that, he wish could have had back, but we just got to continue to correct those decisions and get better from them.
Josh, you rode Zach Charbonnet quite a bit on Saturday, especially during the second half. How has his emergence the last few weeks changed what you're calling or how you're using him?
Yeah, no, I think Zach is, Zach has shown who he is, for us, and very consistent, very mature. We wasn't anticipating to get him that many reps, probably a little too many. But throughout the game, we had some issues going on in protection with our running backs picking up protection. Cost us 2 fumbles. And so, Zach's someone that's been very stout in the pass protection part of it. And I think our trust with him, from their standpoint is, having a back in there that, could pick up the pressures that they were bringing, that, we could ID where the pressure was coming from, lended towards Zach getting a number of those reps in high volume.
What is your pass protection leading to at least one of the fumbles, the blind side hit with Shea? Other than that, would you like your ball carriers to hold on to the other fumbles they had, like as you analyze each one? Is that the only one where you're just kind of like that's not his fault?
Yeah, I think we had two fumbles on sacks, and both were easy protection pickups that we kind of missed at the running back position. The first one, obviously, we'd love Shea to continue to hold on the ball with 2 hands on it. The second one was a strip sack, so he blindside, he didn't see it coming. And then our third fumble was with our running backs, just on a hit, and then Ben, shown great ball security throughout camp. So we just got to clean up the protection deals that we had when we mis-ID'd people and didn't pick them up at the running back position. And then we got to make sure we secure the ball all throughout, all of our touches. But, those 3 were big because they all happened in the first half. So they really kind of deflate a little bit of your momentum going into half with your team, and you're putting your defense in tough positions. But we just got to secure every ball and make sure we don't put the ball on the ground.
Josh, in the passing game, are you happy with the distribution of the ball as far as, the number of targets for your various?
Yeah, I think that's something that, obviously we've seen, I think the ball has distributed itself. Obviously, we've had some big opportunities that we've made, some big plays. We've also had some big opportunities that we've missed. Some guys wide open, uncovered. Even Saturday, one thing that was a positive is we drew 4 defensive pass interferences on Saturday. So pushing the ball vertically down the field, being aggressive with it from that standpoint. And our guys have made some plays, and I wish we had some of the plays back that we've missed because they've been total, big plays. But we just got to continue to work on whether it's the timing, whether it's the, speed of route, releases. When we have guys wide open, we've got to cash in on those. And so our kids understand it, and we got to make those plays moving forward.
How much of
assessment of the offensive line so far?
They've done a really good job. I think Michael Wayne, you've played a phenomenal game this past week. Obviously, we've been starting off the first 2 games with 2 freshmen that are starting on the offensive line, and to see Coach Warner get those guys prepared, it has been a tremendous asset there. They've done a really good job, getting those guys caught up. It's their first time starting college football, and so those guys have stepped up big time. Ryan Hayes and Jalen Mayfield, and then obviously Caesar and Ben have played, at a very high level. We've had some penalties that we just got to clean up. Some false starts and little things that kind of nicked us in the butt there. But, we just got to continue to improve each and every day and pick up pressure blitzes when, people are bringing them, whether that's in the run game or pass game. But our guys are playing at a really good level up front. I wish we would have been a little bit more productive in the run game on Saturday. But with the amount of pressures and the amount of blitzes that they were bringing, we just got to continue to pick up that movement and create some, some holes. And we missed some runs too. Let me say that too. We had a number of runs, 4 or 5, that the running back kind of missed the read and hold on them. Some big, wide, open holes that our guys up front had created, and we just missed them. And so I think altogether it goes with everybody, running backs, O-line, making the right blocks, making the right reads, and hitting the right holes.
How much of an impact has Donovan Peoples-Jones' absence had on this offense through the first 2 games?
It's hard to say. I mean, Donovan was playing at a really high level before he got hurt. You can look back over every catch or missed opportunity that we've probably had and say, well, would he make it or not? So it's hard to say. I think Ronnie Bell really improved last week and really showed, his potential. I think, the first game he had a little bit of the jitters. Missed some big plays in there. But then last week made some huge big plays. He had 4 third-down catches that were all long. I think he had like 4 or 5 explosive passes or something in that deal. But, obviously we miss Donovan right now just as much as we miss John. But to say what kind of effect it would have on the outcome, I would hope a really good one, and I hope a high effect one. But the most important thing is the thing that's affecting right now is the turnovers. If we can eliminate the turnovers, we'll have much better production out of our offense.
On the fourth down, when you guys did not go for the field goal, and Jim said analytics, what's the discussion like at that point?
Yeah, we wanted to be aggressive throughout the game. We had 3 fourth downs. We were 1 of 3. The analytics both supported all 3 as far as going forward from that standpoint. We felt like, the last one, we wanted to be really aggressive. The situation going into the last drive, we get the ball backed up on our own 20, and it's 6 minutes left to go in the game. And, we go on an 11-play drive right there where we eat up, 4 minutes off the clock. Army only has 1 timeout left. And so we know they're not a 2-minute team because they've got to run their plays in from the sideline. I wanted to use as much clock as possible. And if we could have converted there on 4th down, we could have ended the game on our terms. Had it gone any other way, we would have gave the ball back to them with a ton of time left and an opportunity to get even closer for a field goal. But, I felt like we had a great call. We just got to execute it, and we got to be able to put them in better position, with some of the things that we do from that standpoint.
When you're in
Josh?
that situation to kick a 36-yard field goal for the lead or both were on 4th, is that Jim's call? Do you guys talk about that real quick? You don't have a lot of time to talk. How does the mechanics?
That's a discussion that we have, throughout the series. Hey, look, analytics says, 4th or 3 or less. Hey, Coach goes, hey, do you have a call? Do you like call? Yes, I like my call. And I'm going to put our faith in our guys, every time. That's the mentality that we're going to have. Obviously in situations where you want to take the points, or you need to take the points. It's two ways you can look at it. You can take the points and then you're still giving the ball back to them with plenty of time, or you can choose to end it on your own time. And we felt good, at the time that we were moving the ball. We had hit a fourth down conversion earlier than that, and we just, I'll do a better job putting the guys in position to be successful, expecting pressure, and we just got to go out there and execute.
Josh, this is your first 2 games as a play caller. How would you assess the job you have done so far? I've been pleased with our kids. This isn't about me. You know what I mean? This is about our kids, and I think they've done a tremendous job. Executing what we're asking them. Now, obviously, is there areas for room to growth? Yes, like I said, the mistakes and everything. But I think ultimately it's my job to put them in position to be successful. And I'm very hard on myself from that standpoint. And, there's always a couple calls every game where you wish you go back and look at them and say, well, should have did this differently or should have did that differently. But you can't always live in the past. You just got to be able to learn from those and move forward. We feel good about our game plan that we had both games. And, how well we executed when we executed. In times that we didn't execute, we just got to go back and correct those mistakes and get the little things out of the way, like turnovers.
Josh, was there ever any consideration that you might go for 2 in the first overtime, or were you always going to kick?
The analytics said kick it in that standpoint. Kick it and obviously flip it back around and be on offense. And, we felt really good about, where our defense was playing and how well our defense was playing. But at that point, going forward on a 2-point conversion is very hard in college football, and we went for a 2-point conversion. The game before was unsuccessful. And so, we supported going for the kick and then having the ball. And we had the ball in overtime. We had some huge opportunities for 2 big plays, and we just missed. We just missed in overtime there.
And in the overtime period, when you do switch and you go first instead of, and you don't know, are you going to need a touchdown or are you going to need a field goal? Do you play that any differently than you did in the first overtime?
No, you know what? We wanted to be aggressive, and if you can see with the first call, we got Nico wide open in the back of the end zone, and the ball is just a little bit overthrown. And Nick Eubanks was wide open on the play as well. And so we wanted to be aggressive, started off, and then we came back the second play and had a critical drop that would have been for a first down. And so, we wanted to, at that point we had momentum. We felt good about where our team was and how we were playing. Obviously, getting into the second overtime, your juices kind of get going a little bit more. And, we wanted to ride that wave from where our team was. And, unfortunately, we didn't connect on the plays that we had, and we just got to go back, to working and make sure we connect on those plays.
Josh, with Shea and Dylan, is that something where you'll just kind of play it by feel going forward of how you use those guys? Have you been happy with how that rotation has worked out so far?
Yeah, it's going really well. Just the number of reps that we were able to get Dylan and both of those guys being able to play, and it's not one thing or the other against either quarterback. It's not when we pull Shea that he's necessarily doing bad or anything, but we want to get Dylan those reps. We want to get him opportunities in games. We want to get him called up from that standpoint. Dylan's done a really good job coming in, leading the offense and running the offense efficiently and effectively. And so, we pick and choose when those times come. We pick and choose when we want to do our 2 quarterback package, and it just goes game by game, moment by moment, kind of how the game is going from that standpoint.
Do you expect John and Donovan to come back for Wisconsin, or are those longer-term things?
I would hope so. I would hope so. It's, I really don't know because I'm not the trainers, but I would hope that we get them back. It's a little early right now as far as time frame for the game being in another week, and so hopefully we can get as much rehab done with those guys to hopefully get them back at some point.
You said early in your comments that the team was pressing maybe these first 2 games. Why do you think that is, and how do you correct it?
I just think our kids just want to be great. I think the pressure from the outside, I think obviously there's been a huge bubble that's been, put around our program as far as want to be successful, and our kids want to be successful. And so, it just happens. It happens in college football. This is not rare by any means. You see, teams all over the country, and I think, I think our defense has done a really good job supporting us during this time where, we've had some critical mistakes and stuff like that. But I've got the utmost faith in our guys. I know who they are. They've shown who they are in practice. They'll get it cleaned up. We'll get it cleaned up, and, we'll go on to be successful.
A voodoo master's probably unlikely. Yeah. So how do you really correct that? If you haven't had those issues in
Yeah,
practice.
no, we work on it every day. It's been a major emphasis, we just, our ball security. I mean, our guys will tell you, we do drills starting off practice every day. If they fumble in practice, they run, right away, just as much as if they get a penalty, they have to run 2 laps right away. And so, we just do it from a disciplinary standpoint to make sure we're playing as much disciplined football as possible. But I think they also understand the severity of everything, you know what I mean? It's just, no one wants to fumble the ball. It's not part of the game of football. No one chooses to go out there and fumble. So these kids get it, They're embarrassed or hurt. They want to be great, and so I have no doubt in my mind they'll clean up. We'll clean up.